Looks like Toyota's got a car that inspires you to move forward.
This is the Toyota Yaris Cross HEV. It's a car meant for the daily. And that's what happens when you get a hybrid vehicle. You can drive it anywhere without the worry of fuel economy. And if you are in need of a daily driver that has a modern touch to it, but yet simple in a way that its in-house tech doesn't confuse you, this is the way to go.
Consistency. That's why you get a Toyota. Really, at the end of the day, no matter what car you get from the Toyota lineup, one thing you'll notice is that if it's properly taken care of, it's going to be easy to have in the long run. Now, case in point, if you've ever driven a Toyota Hilux or a Toyota Land Cruiser with 200,000 kilometers to it, more often than not, if it's a properly maintained Toyota, it actually feels like it only has 20,000 kilometers to it. That's how well these cars are built. So, why get a Toyota Yaris Cross HEV? Well, because this hybrid is coming from Toyota pedigree, you have to know that maintenance and ownership of this car will be easy in the long run.
Under the hood, the Toyota Yaris Cross HEV follows the DNGA platform, which is set to give you a combined power output of 171 PS of power, all mated to a CVT. From the 171 PS of power, 91 comes from the internal combustion engine, while 80 comes from the electric motor.
Yes, the Yaris goes hybrid. Now, I've driven the internal combustion engine variant before, and I found that it was fun, I found that it was zippy, and I found that it did the job. But now that this car's gone hybrid, what happens there? You end up with an electric motor that is supported by the ICE engine. Again, the ICE engine is only there to support your electric motor. And what is the estimated fuel economy figures? Easily 20 kilometers per liter. That's at least double the fuel economy figures of the other variants. Now, this car is the most expensive variant in the Yaris Cross lineup. And if you're a first-time car buyer or someone who really isn't into cars, we might be wondering, what gives? Why the price considering the fact that you're supposed to be saving money because it's a hybrid? Well, beyond the hybrid powertrain, you have to remember that there's also a lot more creature comforts in this ride versus the other variants, and so you're able to have more peace of mind, and as well as safety features. But you see, when buying a car, you really have to know how your ride will suit your lifestyle, alright? Now, if you're the type of guy who's always out of town, who's always in a farm needing to cross rivers or haul heavy equipment, maybe you get a Toyota Hilux instead, or a Fortuner, or a Land Cruiser, right? Something bigger. And if you're the type of guy who's looking for something that can go faster on a racetrack, right? Something that can go zoom, zoom, vroom, vroom, especially with a manual transmission, you get the GR Yaris instead. Hey, those things are a lot of fun. But if you need something comfortable, consistent, something you can take on the daily, something you wouldn't be worried about on number coding days in Manila, hey, this is the way to go.
You are getting a lot of creature comforts in this variant of the Yaris Cross HEV. Leather seats and a sunroof is just the start, but there's more to it than what you see.
Again, if you think that this car is small, think again. You can get comfortable here in the back even for a tall guy like me. I'm behind my preferred driving position. This is me behind me, and this is the knee room that I have, and this is the headroom that I do have. Now, granted, my seats are reclined a little bit, so I'm able to get a little bit more comfort. And you know what? With these seats, the fabrics are very comfortable. You have a center armrest here with 2 cup holders, and there are ISOFIX tethers if you travel with the kids. With this ride though, it is very much tuned for comfort. Comparing it to the Corolla Cross sits lower and it sits wider. The Yaris Cross gives you just a little bit more height. So if you're the type of guy who's used to an SUV, this might be the way to go for you. And do you know what else you can enjoy along with the 2 air vents in the middle and 2 USB Type-C ports down below? Well, you have a panoramic glass roof up on top for you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the view. Now, a lot of the action of the Yaris Cross HEV will happen here at the front. If you're going to be the guy driving, this is what it looks like right here. Now, you do have an 8-way power adjustable seat for your driver, and in the middle you have a large center screen. Your large center screen does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, both of which wireless, and if you're looking for physical buttons for your air conditioning, it's all down below. That's a pretty nice touch. Now, if there's anything I'm going to be concerned about is the lack of a physical button for your volume knobs, but nevertheless, there are small tactile buttons here on the left side of your screen, and you also have buttons on your steering wheel, all of which complementary to your digital driver display and as well as your center screen. Now, going back here to the middle, you have a wireless charger down below, and this is what your gear shift looks like. And going back to your steering wheel, the buttons on the left and on the right side. Now the buttons on your left and the right side, it might feel like it's a lot, but after a day or two with your Toyota, getting familiar with it, it's gonna be okay. You have 4 drive modes for this car. You have full EV mode, you have normal mode, you have eco mode, and you have power mode. So that's a pretty interesting touch for this ride. Now, along with all of the safety features that you have for the Toyota Yaris Cross, one of my most favorite safety feature for this ride is this. You have a dash cam for this car. That actually comes standard with a lot of cars from the Toyota lineup, and that really gives you a lot of peace of mind wherever you go. Now you gotta remember that in our local market, there are 2 different kinds of Toyota Yarises. There is the GR Yaris, which is a track-ready car that's ready for high speed and high performance. And then there's this, the Yaris Cross, which comes in an ICE variant, or it also comes in an HEV variant like what we have now, the hybrid. Now, Toyota Motor Philippines brought this in as a way to answer the growing demand when it comes to SUVs and crossovers in our market. They are, after all, building mobility solutions for all. Now, this car, the way I see it, it is very drivable for the daily. Now, what I like about this car in terms of the practicality category is that the buttons here on the steering wheel, very easy to learn. I like this particular button here. It is the button for your multi-view camera. You could be able to activate it at low speed, especially if visibility is going to be a concern for you. Now, if you're an experienced driver and you find that the alarms are too overbearing, there's always a button to turn that off as well, and it's easily accessible, especially for your proximity sensors at the lower left side here. Proximity sensors are basically alarms that tell you when something is too close to you. Some people don't like hearing that, especially if they're going to be driving in bumper-to-bumper traffic. It's a completely understandable thing. But then again though, with or without the driver assistance features, just remember to drive responsibly. Now for this car, the ride quality feels great. It really gives you the proper balance between an SUV and a sedan. Somewhere literally in the middle of all of that. And because this car is a hybrid with a CVT, I strongly suggest that for you to be able to get the best sustainability possible, it really pays to drive with a light foot. But then again, you would do that with any car anyway. It's really about comfort at the end of the day with cars like this. And the nice part about this car is that it rewards you for driving comfortably. When you drive comfortably, you're able to get more kilometers for this car. And when you get more kilometers, you get more smiles per miles. But if you think the Toyota Yaris Cross HEV is a small car, well, think again. And this is what your key fob looks like for the Toyota Yaris Cross. Now, it's very similar to other cars, or the keys rather, from the Toyota lineup. And it's consistent in that way. Now, it's rather fascinating with these smart keys because it's a bit of a far cry from how keys used to be, where it was a twist and go kind of thing. Now, with this key fob though, don't lose it and you'll be fine. Your unlock button is down here, and to lock it, just press on the Toyota logo and that does the job. Now, to access your rear cargo door, there are 3 ways to do it. There is a button beside the driver's door, there's also a button underneath the Toyota logo right here, and lastly, there is a button for your key fob. And one last thing about this key, Road Trek 18. Sounds interesting. I wonder what that's all about. Hi Toyota Motor Philippines, baka naman. Anyways, back to business. This is how you open your rear cargo door. Once you open your rear power tailgate, this is what it looks like here in the back. Now, there's space for a large cooler and as well as a box and plenty more things. Now, what I like about what they have here in the back is that everything is customizable. You do have a privacy cover, which is removable, but it's a nice touch to have, especially if you don't have a lot of things with you. Now, if you need to carry more things, remember that the seats in the back also fold in a 60/40 configuration for you to be able to add more things. And if you have delicate or fragile items that you might want to hide, there's also a movable floor down below. So it's really easy to get comfortable with the Toyota Corolla Cross in terms of cargo space. And this is how you close that door. With your rear power door closed, this is what it looks like in the back of the Yaris Cross HEV. Now, in the back of this car, what you have is an edgy design for your taillights, which is very similar to what you have on your headlights at the front. Now, you have a backup camera and you also have your badging here in the back, completing everything. Now, it has an HEV badge proving to show that this car is a hybrid. Down below, you have a bumper, which looks very functional but also very durable all at once. There are sensors in the back, which goes well with your camera. And if you look down below on your bumper, there's also a muffler, proving to show that this car still has an internal combustion engine, which complements your electric motor. So really, at the end of the day, you don't have any range anxiety with this ride because if the battery goes low battery, remember, regen braking and fuel it up and you're going to be perfectly fine. You are looking at the ride here that's 150 millimeters shorter compared to the Toyota Corolla Cross. But that's not a thing to worry about. Because of your wheelbase, you have a pretty good amount of knee room even if you are to be a passenger in the back. So you won't feel small with the Toyota Yaris Cross HEV. With this ride, you also have keyless entry there, and as well as roof rails up on top and a shark's fin antenna. Alongside the chrome accents that you have here, you also have cameras on your side mirrors, and you also have a ground clearance of 212 millimeters. Now, that's a good thing for a crossover because it gives you a really good amount of height. You will not feel small if you're stuck in the city with a bunch of Fortuners around you, and if you're out on the farm, hey, it's gonna be perfectly fine.
The front of the Yaris Cross really does give off this vibe of how this ride really mixes practicality with style. The color that this car is sporting is what Toyota calls dark turquoise SE.
You have DRLs in the front here for your headlights, and to go with that, you also have fog lamps down below. Now, there is a large grille here in the middle with a piano black element, very similar to other cars from the Toyota lineup. And if you look down below, your bumper complements what you have in the back. It's durable and it also does the job. There's also sensors with the bumper, which goes well with the cameras that you do have all throughout this car. Now, what I like about the bumpers with the front and with the back is that it doesn't affect the overall ground clearance of this ride, meaning you shouldn't be worried when handling overly steep ramps or overly steep speed humps. So again, performance and practicality isn't compromised with the approach and departure angles of this car. But if you're worried about visibility with the Yaris Cross, don't worry. There's also a camera underneath this logo. Now, buying a car could either be a practical or an emotional decision. You gotta remember though that both factors are very important when choosing your next ride. Now, if you're a young professional looking to buy his or her first ride, or if you're an executive trying to give a family member another option in terms of mobility, the Yaris Cross is a great option to have, especially with the hybrid powertrain. Now, the hybrid powertrain that you have, it's set to give you the best sustainability possible. And the power delivery is just right, not too fast and not too slow. Now you gotta remember that with the Yaris Cross HEV, you're not looking at lap times or corner speeds or G-force or anything like that. You're not looking at how to creatively get out of a jungle. This car isn't built for that. What this car is a comfy cruiser for you, a few friends, with some good music, cruising on the highway or in the city, sitting back and enjoying the moment.